Hi there, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome. This year, since the summer, we have been playing uh, anthology-ish campaign we've called the Malliverse, all centered around what was originally a 1990s mall, but for the last couple months, we've been playing the modern day version of that mall. And yes, it's just as sad as you would have imagined. But hey, maybe the latest business that's opened up in this little mall will help bring back some of the businesses. We'll see. We'll see. Calling this game session is using my game, the Hit the Streets, Defend the Block, which has amazing artwork from a certain Alex Prince. I love this book. I love thumbing through it. It's so fun and gorgeous. We've reskinned it a little bit for aged retired supers who kind of unretired themselves. And we've jokingly called it Hit the Mall, Defend the Shops. In the last session, just to try to bring us back, it's been a couple weeks. We had kind of a plot that was going on where there was a discovery from the police that were working a case they were trying to keep under wraps. There was a drug called Blue. That's the street name of it because it looks like blue windshield wiper fluid that seems to give people superhuman abilities for short bursts of time. There are four people who have four victims that the police told the Peacock and the Swell about, and kind of handed over their names and light amount of files on them. That they were all victims of having taken Blue and then their bodies just failing on them in a few different ways. Meanwhile, dun dun dun, dot dot dot, we had Dog and Golden Boy and the cyclist all went out hunting for actual information, trying to get a sample of Blue. Headed up on I-5 to a biker bar called Tumbleweeds, and they ran into the Chosen Few. The Chosen Few pretty much openly said that they had some Blue, and then Dog decided to punch them. And after the punching happened, one of the members, a younger member, not a prospect, but looked to be related to the Sergeant at Arms, guy by the name of Cotton, the younger one tried to take some Blue to, I guess, soup up, to be able to take out an old lady who was kicking the ass of his uncle, older cousin, something. But he was prevented from taking the Blue. And that sample was handed over or picked over. And there were a few other samples of Blue that you guys found on their unconscious bodies after a hefty kicking of the ass. Now, we also discovered at that bar that the Dog had been there in her younger days, but also so had Brutus Emery, aka the cyclist, because cyclist asked about someone, an old foe of theirs named Metalhead, and was told that Metalhead is dead, but that Metalhead's son was around Lockjaw. But Brutus didn't have any interest in talking to Lockjaw. However, the audience found out that someone at the bar surreptitiously taken a picture of Brutus Emery, the cyclist, and Dog, and sent a text to someone named Lockjaw telling them what was up. Back after the Swell and the Peacock had gotten their information from the police, they came back to the Heroes for Hire store, front area, office, and found there was a person from primarily the Swell's past, a person by the name of Drew McIntosh, who we found out, or the Swell probably shared this with Raphael, is actually the former sidekick of an aged hero named Ghost Gunner. And that sidekick's heroic name, street name was Obsidian, and he was waiting in hopes of talking to the likes of you. So that's all of the setup. Is there anything that I missed of note from our last session anyone wants to bring up? Okay. Oh yes, and a former ally. That Metalhead was a former ally who tried to betray Dr. Flux, who is now the cyclist. What a fool! What a fool he was. He paid for it with his life. Although not directly because of Brutus, but indirectly probably. Although maybe not. We have some lines and veils. Oh, sorry.
I mean, who knows how much how hard of an electrical shock he got, right? And how much of that his heart was really able to take. I mean, Brutus didn't check back then.
I mean, he didn't because why would he? He's got other stuff to do. Anyway, so let's go over our safety tools real quickly. We have some lines and some veils, and a few where we ask first. The line we have is against sexual assault, violence, or coercion. We have veils on harm to animals and sexual content and torture. And then ask first, which means that the content may be okay contextually. Check with the table before you introduce this into the scene. And if anyone says, can you try it a different way? Then we do. And if you're like, oh, that was the only idea I had, just source the table. We'll help you come up with cool ideas. Don't worry about it. The ask firsts are sexual content, which also has a veil, harm to children, pandemics, and politics in all caps. So, with that all out of the way, let's go around the horn and introduce our characters. By the way, you'll notice that Jan isn't with us. He had another thing to take care of. We were aware of that. He was a maybe for the session and is unable to make it. He will be able to return next session, I believe. So let's go around the horn, going from right to left on our character keeper, which means that Sabine, you're the first to get to introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am able to tell right from left when I think really hard about it. And I'm going to play Brutus Emery, Dr. Brutus Emery, the cyclist as he is now, who was formerly Dr. Flux, a super villain with electrical powers and who had made a lot of bad life choices. And when he was reminded that maybe, you don't have to be a supervillain, even though you have abilities, he decided to go and be a scientist, a real scientist for this time, and an engineer. That he made some patent, he created some patents and lives rather comfortably of them. Even though he's not super rich or anything, he's wealthy enough, I think. He has a daughter who also was maybe a supervillain. They have only recently met again and are a bit careful about the whole how did you ever become a supervillain thing and what are you doing now thing and everything else. So, and Brutus is known to have an electromagnetic manipulation array that looks like a bit like a screwdriver. Usually calls it Emma. And also all kinds of other gadgets like drones and phones and little things with radar dishes and all kinds of interesting stuff.
He also, as of lately, has a broken arm.
Oh, right. You're right. And he has a cat named Tinkerbell.
Sorry, we give broken arm cat. They balance out. So he broke his arm while going on a cruise with his daughter in the hopes of reconnecting. But it turns out there were some like opera pirates or something. But it worked out, and I'm sure that Dr. Emery's arm is going to heal quickly. Cool. Thank you so much, Sabine. Jen, you're up. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us about your character.
I sure can, just after I finish typing out a rename on my loud, clicky keyboard. I am Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Dog, aka Dana Maddox, who also uses she, her pronouns, who's a refugee from the Mojoverse, who's been hanging out on Earth for long enough to mostly be used to it. Last session, she was planting teeth and kicking ass and hopefully reminding the California biking strip and community that, she exists and isn't worth fucking around with.
She certainly is not.
Nope.
Thank you, Jen.
Yep.
Alex, you're up. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
I'm Alex. I use he, him, and I'm playing Rafael Vieira Fernandez, the patriarch of a lineage of vigilantes. That, though he's definitely not the leader of this lineage anymore. He's kind of retired from that, but he's still a vigilante. Vigorous, vibrant, especially now that he has rechargeable bionic legs that were surgically implanted after his knees went. So now he can backflip with the best of them, even if he now then has to have an ice bath the next day.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Alex. And last, certainly not least, the fastest, but for some reason the one bringing up the rear is Tyler. Introduce yourself. Tell us about
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Golden Boy, who is a speedster and a light manipulator, and is by far and away his whole life is around superheroing, but I think we saw last time him actually trying to get a social life, so maybe there's hope for him in his golden years after all.
We shall see, because she said yes, and that was very exciting. So let's start off with a flashback. This will be a flashback to what feels like 90s for Golden Boy. In the 90s, were you still sidekicking for Tempest Bellator?
No. By the 70s, when he was Disco Gold, he'd gone off on his own.
Okay. So what was the look for Golden Boy, the 90s look for Golden Boy? And this, of course, would probably be concurrent with some of our other games that we played in the Mallverse, excitingly enough.
Yeah, I imagine at that point he's wearing, God, that's 30 years ago. So he's probably wearing the kind of got a gold bodysuit type thing, spandex set. And generally speaking, when he's doing his heroing, he's probably in the full gold light look. So he's got that sort of look going.
Nice. And so this would be a team up. Since you weren't sidekicking for Tempest Bellator, who are you teamed up with in this little flashback here? You're working alongside Ghost Gunner, but you've got someone with you. Is it perhaps the Peacock, or is it Dog, or is it someone else that we have seen that you've teamed up with? This will be a very, quasi, impermanent partnership, I think. Maybe one of those Marvel team up type deals where it's maybe just this one issue, maybe not.
I think we've seen him and the Peacock kind of have team ups before. They're very much in the same genre, it feels. So it's probably the two of them.
Nice. Cool. So what does the 90s version of that costume look like?
Oh, I'm thinking at the insistence of his teenage son at the time, 90s, yeah. His teenage son, that he had to go darker with his costume, I think. I think he protested it slightly, so I think it's like black. It's like the coat with the tails from the pictures, but like more in like black. He accepted a couple of pouches, but then there is some, I think it has like down the tails, it still has like the peacock feather pattern. So it still has that vivid bit of color.
Does he have cuffs on his boots? That's the thing I need to know.
Yes.
This is the best. Oh Lord, yeah, because you've got those cool, almost like I love those shoes. They're almost like Tabi shoes in the official Peacock picture, and the idea of him having those kind of boots that have the giant fold over leather cuffs, a la Captain America and other 90s era. That's just delightful, fantastic. So the two of you have teamed up with Ghost Gunner and a very, very young Obsidian. Like why is this young boy running around fighting against criminals, young Obsidian? Yeah.
I don't get what you mean.
Sorry, that's true. Why would the peacock? How's that even a thing? A gold boy either. Like you guys, he's totally brought up in this. It's not weird for you guys. And I think that Obsidian, I'm going full on Robin. So I think that he actually, his costume is very like day glow colors. Like he's got a vest, right, with no shirt underneath, and he's wearing these like underoos but then of course he has the boots with the huge cuffs as well, but his underoos have pouches on them.
Like how young is the too young?
I mean 12, I think.
Yeah, I don't see the problem.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
It's not like he's 7.
I mean, it's not like he's 7. It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
And then during this time, you guys are fighting against, in the mall, you are fighting alongside Ghost Gunner and Obsidian against these alien creatures led by someone named General Gothra. General Gothra, you can actually look down. He's a Zarlothian. He is on row 44. He has a weird mismatch of almost like half of an undead looking face and half of some kind of, maybe it's a helmet, maybe it's a cybernetic. I think it's hard to tell. He's got horns coming out of the sides of his head. But he has these weird gravitational powers. And this is our flashback to find out why there's a giant freaking hole in the middle of the mall. So we open up with a flashback of General Gothra, and all of you arrayed around him, and there's this hole he's emerged from in the middle of the mall, and we see the stacked up bodies, because of course we go with the comic book cover of the stacked up bodies that clever eyes would recognize as members of the Teens with Attitude crew who were fighting the Zarlothians, and it seems that perhaps this was their final fight. Maybe, who knows? Editor's note: please see Teens with Attitude issue 2. But he, in font that's just like stupid big at the bottom, says, "Now I am unfettered to conquer this pitiful planet." So who has the snappy comeback? Is that a peacock comeback, or is that a golden boy retort that we hear?
I think it's the landing from over the balcony edge, hitting the ground, turning to Martin like, okay, is this one of mine or yours?
Not mine.
Not time travel?
No.
Okay. Alien? I over to General Gartha.
Oh, there's like this pregnant pause, expected you to cower in fear, and you don't. And he says, "I would never count myself among you pitiful earthlings. And that's when he reaches with his hand and gestures and shows you his gravitational powers. He starts to lift things up around you. And maybe we see the peacock, like their tails start to float upwards somewhere. So how is it that you get down to try to take away his upper hand, right?
I mean, if it's me, I would just like, well, he's just made all these nice parkour type things around me. I now have an obstacle course to just, bounce from thing to thing.
Nice. So
I don't even have to like put any effort in to get like the head height.
So you're dancing across the things that he's levitating, and then Golden Boy, you and Ghost Gunner Ghost Gunner's like phasing his way through the if you can see, behind me, he's coming through the escalators to try to sneak up on General Gothra to get the drop on him, while Obsidian is sneaking along because he doesn't have any superpowers like Ghost Gunner. What is it that Golden Boy is doing? Because it looks like General Gothra might be distracted by Raphael, aka the Peacock, but maybe you want to get a wallop in on yourself. What do you do?
Yeah. Seeing Peacock going high, I'm going to golden streak towards him as I go, buddy, this is getting heavy. You need to lighten up. And I'll blast a big, but I'm younger, so I actually do a full light blast into him.
Ooh, nice. So it's just like to see these golden beams that blind him. And then there's a quick panel of his left eye is completely blinded because it's physical, but the right eye, which is cybernetic, compensates for the flare compensation, but he's still dazed and trying to figure out what's going on. And that's when Obsidian comes out and tries to kick him in the back of the leg, but doesn't quite like even phase General Gothra. He backhands the kid. So Ghost Gunner pops up and starts shooting him in the back. But you get the blow that really knocks him down. He's already dazed. Ghost Gunner is firing at him with these weird kind of energy bullets. But Peacock, you're the one that finishes him off in this little flashback, or at least takes him out as far as we're concerned for our flashback. What does that look like?
I think it's like as I'm like bouncing like side to side, there's like that flash of lights from Marty. He's like dazed, and like just as his other eye compensates, I like bounce away from that side to his organic side, and then foot to the face. And I think maybe the flashback ends with him just on that freeze frame of just like maybe some teeth go and just like the cheek foot.
Yeah, we see the cheek to the foot, but then there's one more panel. And the one more panel that we have is this this Hispanic woman. Maybe she's drawn to have similar eyes cast like Raphael. She's older. She's on a headset of some kind. It's the 90s, so she's got this clackety keyboard, and she's evidently like talking in Raphael's ear. She says, that's great. Now you need to, and she's evidently giving him instructions. And that'll be the end of our flashback. We pick up with the cyclist, Golden Boy, and Dog all coming back after successfully getting blue and all that stuff. You guys are coming back just to kind of check in. I assume maybe Dr. Emery, you have some of your equipment here rather than you having to skate off to your own house with your full workshop. Maybe you have enough to do a little bit here.
Oh yeah, for the analysis. Okay, I would prefer to do this in a laboratory actually, because this seems to be a bit volatile, but you know what, we can throw that. You know what? We should have a little lab at the Heroes for Hire, and not a big one, but not an underground one. No. We don't need underground labs. I've been there, done
that. So then Peacock and Golden Boy, you both come in. to the office, and you recognize he's definitely grown since last you guys adventured together. But I imagine maybe I don't know if you're the kind of person to keep up with young heroes as they age. Rooftop Lab sounds great. But Drew McIntosh is there. He's been talking with Esther, your automated assistant, and he stands up. He's in good shape. He appears to be late 30s in that comic book, like, he was 12, but is he in this? Who cares? He's just in that perennial, not a kid, not extremely aged kind of look. His dreads hang over his very muscular shoulders. He's wearing a shirt, and you see some old scars that maybe you recognize that he's gotten in his times of fighting the good fight. But he looks grim, but he does push on a smile when he sees the two of you. Dog, have you ever run into Obsidian before?
So he was sidekicking in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And that was like in the aughts is when he went solo, kind of Nightwinged it.
Mm-hmm. I think I was more likely to have seen him when he was still kicking, still in his shorter pants, etc.
Nice. Cool. And then, Dr. Emery, back in your villainous days, did you ever face
Of course
Obsidian?
not. My villainous days were finished in the mid-'80s. So no, I have not faced a little tiny boy. No, and unless he was a university student in the 90s or 80s, I don't think I've ever met him.
Okay. And then just to be clear, he's on row 14, the clients and
Mhm.
coworkers of our NPCs in place, in case anybody hasn't grabbed a look at him. Cool. Yeah, you guys are all there checking out. I just wanted to start with a group shot. If people want to split off after that, that's perfectly fine. So he would scan around. He wouldn't necessarily know Dog, but Dog, you might recognize him. He's definitely not in the bright green short shorts that he was wearing before. But Raphael and Marty, the two of you definitely know Drew, and he gives you a grim smile.
Drew, son, how nice to see you.
It's good to see you. Glad to see you're still running around.
Yeah. You coming in, did you hear about our hero for hire business?
I'm coming in to be a client, maybe.
Oh,
Client?
Yeah.
What's
Can
the
we?
problem?
Do you guys have an office, or do we just talk here?
yeah. Come, let's sit down, son.
All right.
I'll go and flip the sign over, get the front door locked.
Cool. So he sits down and kind of glances out, right? Because I'm imagining this is a strip mall thing, right? So it's just like big, wide windows. So unless you move it behind cubicle walls, he's pretty exposed.
I think we
Yeah.
might have paravans or something that we can just use as a room separating part where we could put people behind so nobody
Yeah.
can watch
I
from the
think we-
outside.
I think we do have a consultation room.
Yeah, we did mention
Yeah,
that.
we
Mhm.
need.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
And of course, we can also turn the glass sheets. We can turn them opaque, right? Because as you do, that's just science.
I mean that sounds like a gadget of some kind. So perhaps
Yeah.
sounds like a project that maybe you will see if you ever need that emergency situation. How well it works. That sounds great.
I'm doing that right now
Yeah.
because that sounds like, I mean, I don't know this guy, but having opaque windows seems like a good idea, and I can fiddle around with something while everybody's talking to him and still listen. I am very clever.
Typical difficulty. Tension is not involved in this role.
Yeah.
Should I roll for that? Cool.
I want you to roll for it.
Okay, very
Fine.
good. So this is pretty much it's a normal, right? Because you can turn windows opaque. It's not
Yes.
a super thing or anything. So
I would agree with that.
3, and at this point, I think I've just raised my head, so I want to use that. I apologize. So that's 7, and it's still gadgetry, so it's 9.
Yep.
Is it that you're doing is it the glass that changes, or do you do a projection on from the inside to the thing so it like has hologram or movement or whatever, like those ghost things that you could do for Halloween inside your windows and stuff?
I mean, no, I'm right now. I'm just turning the screens opaque. That's we're a serious business, Goalie. We're not a Halloween store. So yeah. Okay, I'm rolling 9 dice. Maybe? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, there you go.
1, 2,
Let's
3,
see.
4, 5.
No problem. You've got something set up. You can turn those windows opaque whenever you wish, Dr. Emery. And you probably have you've got the override, but Esther can also do it if you're out taking care of
Everybody
more
can do
things.
it if
Everyone
they
can
push the
do it?
button.
Oh, okay.
Sure, I mean, it's
There's a button.
useless if only I am the one who can do that.
Nice. So we cut to you guys maybe maybe he has a coffee in front of him. See a little bit of steam coming up.
Do you want a biscuit? Do we restock the biscuits?
I'm fine. It's all right. Listen, it's about Ghost Gunner. He's in some real trouble and he's not listening to me. I was hoping somebody who has more experience with Ghost Gunner from... I'm his sidekick. I'll only ever be his sidekick in his eyes.
I understand that. What sort of trouble, son?
So, I don't know if you guys have been in the game around Bedlam, but there's a guy by the name of Professor Peril. Stupid name, but he and Gunner have been going at each other. It started up a little bit after I went solo, but he took out his latest sidekick, Peril did.
Oh.
And and that's just to clear. So Ghost Gunner is of your age bracket. Maybe he's of your age, maybe not, because he has these weird like phasing powers, and it seems like it might be gadgetry, but I don't think. Well, you guys tell me if you've ever seen Ghost Gunner outside of costume. Peacock, have you ever seen Ghost Gunner with his mask off?
No, I don't think I have. And I've invited him for dinners and things, and
yeah, he's very he's very Batman-y. Like, yep, no, thank you. No, let's keep it professional. Yeah. What about Golden Boy?
No, I don't think so. And I think that it's been one of these things of like his appearance, like size, and he's never changed at all in the time I've known him.
Awesome. So he says Peril took out Kid Rocket, who was Gunner's latest sidekick. That was about 6 years ago. And he's never been the same. Well, last week, Gunner found Peril's son. He's going to college.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It wasn't. He's gone off the deep end. He killed him. And it wasn't an accident. It was a message.
Rafe, he's crossed the line.
Yeah, there's things you don't do.
I agree. I'm not here to ask you to do anything other than help him get the help he needs and then take responsibility for his actions. Peril's gone off the deep end. And he's put out a crazy contract for Gunner's head.
Do you know where Gunner's been holding up?
He's in Bedlam, I think. Although, if you have any trouble finding him, I can tell you the henchmen who have picked up the contract.
We'd like that information.
Any of the usual suspects?
They all seem to be a little more recent. I'm not sure if they're anybody you've fought against, but Death Urge is among them.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's a punk. Hired killer. It's really all he does. Outlaw Iron. Now, Outlaw Iron, dog, you've heard of Outlaw Iron. Outlaw Iron is an android from this weird millionaire's island where he tried to set up his own Westworld.
Okay.
And Outlaw Iron was one of them that just like left, just deuces, I'm not doing what you want anymore, but he kept the aesthetic. So he's kind of a cybernetic cowboy. Pretty, his morals are suspect because he's a robot. So he kind of sees most of humanity as terrible because he is, for all effects and purposes, a escaped slave of them.
Yeah. No, so I got sympathy for Outlaw Iron, but if I gotta put him down, I'll do it.
And Sterling. Sterling, Dr. Emery, you have heard of her. She's known for her Sterling staff, which is made of this weird quicksilver metal. Did you make that for her, or did you consult on that, or were the plans for that stolen from you?
Oh, I like the idea. Yeah, I made that stuff, but not for her, for somebody else who I thought was, I don't know. I did it probably in exchange as a trade, as a deal. And I made it, and Sterling now has it. Okay, I guess. So not so cool, but well, fine. I've never talked to her about that. I mean, I don't usually run around announcing that I used to be Dr. Flux, but I believe I knew Professor Peril back in the day, because that sounds like somebody I might have known.
I could totally see you and Professor Peril having maybe talked, danced around the idea of working together. Maybe you kind of consulted a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we just shove some ideas here and there, like, hey, I've got this problem with my flux disk. What's going on with your U-Peril scope thingy? Any problem with whales?
The Evil Genius Symposiums.
Yeah, the Evil Genius Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was a bit of a clusterfuck, but Peril and yeah, I mean, put a lot of geniuses in a room, and all of them, I think they have to be extra evil. So yeah, that was a clusterfuck. But I think that's actually the point where Dr. Flux and Professor Peril said, okay, we're out of here. This is too much. This is just bullshit.
Yeah, and I totally see that several points in comics, different comic series, when Dr. Emery and Professor Peril, like Professor Peril always has this, you and I were not so different, you know, that's his approach to Dr. Emery. He's always trying to appeal to Dr. Emery's ego and also past.
Dr.
But also
Flux,
seems to be
I don't
Dr.
think
Flux.
that,
sorry. You're right.
I don't think that Dr. Emery has anything to do with Professor Peril. Gosh, no.
So a younger, less wise Dr. Flux is the one that Professor Peril was always kind of complimentary towards Dr. Flux. Of course, it was, there was that thing, two tough dogs in the yard. Someday they're going to fight. But up until that moment, the two of you could have been in a pack together. Totally.
Yeah, that was that. And I mean, I left pretty early, actually. I mean, I left when I was in my 30s. So.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is a
I
long
did.
time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I've not been active since the 80s as Dr. Flux. I'm Dr. Emery now, which I prefer actually.
Sure. Cool. So yeah, Gunnar gives you guys that quick list. I'll drop those characters into the NPC folder shortly, probably during our break. But the names he dropped were Iron Outlaw, Death Urge, and Sterling. Sterling is she's Japanese descent, but themes her costume everything around the staff that she wields. So everything's in like a silver and white for her. She's even dyed her hair such. She's pretty young. Maybe she's not the first Sterling, but she's of course basically a ninja for hire. And Death Urge has weird powers and likes to kill people, and then Iron Outlaw is you're generally neutral morality, does things for money that are
I feel like
overbought.
I'm feeling like Death Urge might be part of Magpie's rogue gallery.
Oh, totally. Oh man, they have faced so many times. Yes.
A lot of rooftop battles in the rain.
Yeah, I think there's something that Death Urge had. Well, as I'm taking a look at the picture that I'll be uploading shortly, I think during one Titanic fight, Magpie took. Here, I'll show you the picture. I've got it cropped out, but I'll just because I'm looking at the little book where I stole him from. So what did she do? What did Magpie do to Death Urge that has permanently affected him in one of their Titanic fights? Did she like rip off an arm, scar him, or take something from him? What do you think?
I think maybe she like short circuited his suit. It is now like he can't take it off.
Oh, nice. So it's like fused to him now.
Yeah.
God, no wonder he hates her so
It's
much.
kind of like has like the rhino problem of just that's
Totally.
what he is now.
Nice.
All the time.
Love it. That's cool. Then we cut back after the quick bits of like, info dumps. Andrew says, can you guys help me with this?
Of course, Drew, but we're going to have to take him in.
I know.
And he may not want to go peacefully.
I know.
We'll
Listen,
handle it, son.
the gunner who raised me would never have done this. He needs help.
Yeah.
He's hurting.
Yeah. So after that, he slides you guys to like manila folder with the info that he has, and also the information about the college kid who's Professor Perril's son, who is not named last name Peril at all.
Stuart Peril.
Stu Peril. Drew and Stu. They were the closest to yeah, he's got a very boring name, actually. He looks like maybe he didn't even know his dad was a bad guy type deal. So just some scary dude came in, tortured him, then killed him for Professor Peril to come home and find. Yeah. Yep. It was not good. Cyril Peril. That's great. Sorry.
I mean, his last name wasn't Peril, so he was named Cyril Peril, but that's why he didn't want people to know what his first name was. And I think he knows my first name too. Not just the first name, but still.
No, so he still thinks you're Dr. Flux, but he knows your first name is Brutus.
He knows that my name is not Dr. Flux. Nobody's named Dr. Flux. But
he knows he's not named Professor Peril, but he probably call you Dr. Flux.
Yeah.
Or he might just call you Brutus.
He could call me Brutus. I call him Cyril. That was the kind of relationship we had.
That sounds fun. I like that. I like that a lot. Good. So is there anything else you guys want to do with Drew before he kind of drops off all this stuff, as well as signing the contract, and he doesn't fight you one iota on whatever you charge?
I we will charge, I suppose, but it won't be exorbitant. This is pretty personal.
I think when they kind of anyone brings up money, I give a slightly kind of like disapproving look, but I don't say anything.
I will mention that we have a plan if these rates are too high, too much. Just we have a plan.
Emery with time and place.
What?
Drew, is there somewhere we can contact you? Can you leave us your communicator or something?
Of course, he slides on this little like thing that actually has, the GG symbol on it. He says, "I've recoded it. I don't think he can listen in."
All right. Thank you, son.
And he
Do.
If sorry, Jen.
Oh, we will be in touch.
Yeah, but let me take a look at the coding. Just
of course.
just so we are on the safe side, because I've heard Ghost Gunner knows his stuff.
Cool. You want to take a look and see if there's anything untoward about that? Awesome.
Yeah, would like to. I mean, is this super dude spying on his sidekick guy? That's I feel that's an information we need, and that's maybe something we can use. What
Yeah.
would I go for there? I think tools. I think I'll go with be super, because I want to figure out anything that's more than natural here. Right, but I think it's strategic, so we're at 7, and it's gadgetry, so we're still at 9. You know what? I'll add a spark.
Cool. Your difficulty for this is remarkable.
Okay, remarkable is how many?
Oh, sorry, 4.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Stuff. Do I find anything?
Wow. I mean, how can you not? So yes, he's absolutely listening in. Everything that Obsidian thought all the fail safes and everything, those are all just, hey, this is all that I've taught you, but this is not everything that I know. And you find that there's a whole pulse network that's set up inside of it for him to be able to track, eavesdrop. He can find Obsidian whenever he wants.
Did you eavesdrop on our conversation just now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, maybe we should have done this before we talked, because now he knows.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
He knows what?
He knows everything we've just said to each other. He's listening in.
Oh.
Hi, Ghost Gunner.
Ghost. Buddy, let's talk.
And there is no response.
Worth a try.
Maybe he's just recording it and looking at it later.
Can you sever it, Brutus?
Of course I can. Should I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Those level of successes, not even another roll. You just do the thing. Cool. Should we bring the scene to a close there?
Yeah.
All right. So let's take our bio break here.
Oh, okay.
Sweet, we're back. So one quick update after I drop pictures into our little NPC tracker is that after looking at Sterling, Alex has said that no, Sterling is the person who has fought Magpie in the past, and I am here for that. That sounds amazing. So maybe Death Urge. I love the idea of his armor fused to his body after a fight with someone. So
I mean, it could have been with Magpie. It's just she doesn't count that as her nemesis. I mean, that's just some dumb dude in some armor. I mean, it might give him a lot of power, but he doesn't know how to use it.
I mean, it could be someone else. Maybe Dog. Maybe you, the young whippersnapper Death Urge. You took him down a few pegs, and I don't know. What do you think? Think maybe Dog is responsible for Death Urge's current plight?
I think that seems reasonable.
Nice. And I think Outlaw Iron and Dog have run into each other, but I don't think they fought. I kind of see both of them as sitting on that odd spectrum of. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So we bring back in you guys. You've got the blue investigation that's going on. You've just had dropped in your laps Drew's concern over his former mentor, Ghost Gunner. You get the feeling, I think, both Golden Boy and Peacock, you get the feeling that maybe Drew's got some serious other stuff going on that is why he's calling in for help, along with the fact that he's saying, Ghost Gunner is not listening to me. So there's probably that frustration level of can't get him to
Does
listen to me.
Obsidian have his own, Bloodhaven?
Oh yeah,
Separate city that he defends. That,
he does. Yeah.
So yeah.
You've also got to figure that, I mean, he knows as well as we do that Ghost's going to have to get arrested. I mean, he's murdered someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing for a kick to decide to go and do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on. Is I know what needs to be done. I don't know if I have the ability to do it.
Yeah, that's a lot of emotional package.
Can we continue the discussion I had started with Raphael?
Yes,
or-
you should pick it back up because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, because that started out me saying, I'm very glad that we never took the Nemesis thing out to these levels.
Yeah, those can go some dark rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I'm glad he just knocked your teeth out a few times. I mean,
I had got new teeth, so that's fine.
nice. They're good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And I'm very sorry for burning off your hair at that one point, but this happens.
I made the short hair look good.
Yes, it's true. You did. You did. I don't know if anybody knows here, but back in the days when I was Dr. Flux, I actually got along reasonably well with Professor Apparel. I mean, as reasonable as two guys like us could get along. I wasn't real social back then.
Huh. All right.
I
He run a
doubt
good
you.
potluck or anything?
Huh?
I said he run a good potluck or anything?
No, he was just he was intelligent, not like wise or anything, but you could have a good conversation about quantum torpedoes and eon chronotons and stuff like that with him.
Seems unlikely we're going to be able to talk him down, though, from this sort of situation.
No, I don't think so. Not when his kid got killed.
I can't even say I blame him.
Marty, you ever go up against him?
Some reason I don't. I think Tempest said he had a problem, but I was already on my own by then. Never met him.
Yeah. His antics tended to be not in my territory, so.
No, we actually talked about. I think I remember talking to him about that.
Feedback on us?
I mean, we talked about where he would do his things and where I would do my things, and my things were more where you were active, and his were more where Ghost Gunner was active, and that was kind of a gentleman's agreement that we wouldn't step to each other's thing, and that's how I got you as my nemesis, and he got Ghost Gunner.
Ah,
I got the better deal.
well, yeah.
Got the better press. I mean, that's nothing I'm proud of course.
Of course not.
Hmm.
Of course not.
No, not really.
I ain't never mucked with many psychic villains.
You count backwards. You just think of old memories. It's
Sounds like a pain.
yeah. Ghost Gunner taught me that one.
Huh. So, my big question is, who do we focus on? Where do we go first?
That's a good question. We
know Peril's probably hunting Ghost hard as he can.
And if he's done that to the boy, there's going to be worse.
well,
That's a line.
I suppose we could split. Rafe and I could try and go after Ghost, and Brutus, you and Dog could stick on Blue.
I mean,
How's the blue going?
I've got this blue to analyze. I need to do an analysis of this whole thing. And once we have that, we can lean into whatever I find there. And since I'm probably not much use going up to Ghost Gunner and say, hey, I used to be Dr. Flux, remember me? Don't think that would go over very well. So I think I'd better stick with the blue stuff and maybe see if one of the old I'll later see if one of the old back channels I have to Cyril, Professor Peril, is still open.
So tumbleweeds went well?
Oh, it went very well.
Oh, it was great. Nope.
Dog was amazing.
Yeah, Dog cut loose.
Oh.
We cleaned him up and cleaned him out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does
not those boys.
that split seem like the best idea?
Nope. Let's do it. I'll watch your back, Emery.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right, Rafe. This isn't going to be easy, but I think I feel better that it's us that's doing it.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're taking a trip to Bedlam.
Bedlam.
Whew. It's been a minute since I had a team up there over there.
Yes, this is definitely a bad session to be missing the smell. A very fair comment. So, first of all, I'd like to see a couple panels of Peacock and Golden Boy heading up I-5. You pass by tumbleweeds. How are the two of you traveling?
I mean, it might be goofy, but in my head, I was thinking like Greyhound bus, but if you've got a different idea.
Because I don't think either one of us drive, do we?
Yeah.
Can borrow my sedan if you want, but I don't know if one of us you can drive.
I always imagined Rafe with like a nice car. I always just imagined.
Oh, I mean, he did used to have like some like muscle car thing that had been with a paint job. I think it may be in his garage, and it is not in great condition.
He's always meaning to fix it up.
Yeah, it's.
Then we could definitely take
we could take the, backfiring.
Peacock mobile.
It
A Greyhound
It's a-
bus, I think. I like that.
all right.
Okay, so we see you guys taking
Yeah.
the Greyhound bus, and you're going past tumbleweeds, just so we can, see that that overall impact, that effect. That's great. And then you two guys are getting off of the bus at a bus stop in Bedlam. So, Golden Boy, this city, what is it, the first thing that you notice that tells you, hey, this is a city that is in rough straits? And this is a place that Ghost Gunner had protected, and Bedlam was this nice city for a while, but something about it has, like sour milk, something about it has turned. What's the first thing that you notice as you look around this area around the bus depot?
I think as we get off the bus, you can see that there are a good many people who are waiting to get on buses to leave. And there is a heavy police presence. And even as we are there at the bus station, we can see a couple of them like hassling folks there on the sidewalk. That sort of feel of the police are on edge. They're looking over everybody. Things are not good.
And then what is it that Raphael's kind of detective skills pick up that also cues him into the fact that Bedlam has seen better days, that its champion has neglected it, and now things are not well?
I don't think it's like particularly detective skills, but I think there is like some sort of like little newspaper stand thing, and it has like the headlines, and it's no sighting of Ghost Gunner in a month or something, and yeah, just like a list of incidences that we can probably trace to Ghost Gunner. But
Alex, in that newspaper article, are the police looking for him? Do they know he's done this?
I don't think they do, but they know something's up.
Nice.
You know,
that's interesting.
and like, yeah.
Cool. So did you guys call ahead? Is there any old contacts that you have in Bedlam who are waiting for you, or you guys just arrive unannounced and get to work?
I have an idea, Alex. This is one of the things I always enjoy in a story. I think we know of like a neutral ground sort of bar where low-level thugs and the heroic types can go, and you're not supposed to get in your fights there.
Yeah.
Nice. So we see the two of you guys, long shadows cast as you're walking down this alleyway.
Yeah.
And then there's a kind of secret passcode as the, it's very, oh shoot. What's the name of the type of club where during Prohibition?
A speakeasy.
Thank you. Wow. Words. Anyway, like thing opens up and you guys, is it Peacock or is it Golden Boy who knows the password to get in?
That might be more of a you thing. It's up to you.
What would the password be? I'm trying to think of something. Any suggestions what the password would be?
Is it something that
Peacock.
something like detente? not a casual word that's said, and it
Yeah. No one's gonna guess that. Yeah. Yeah, tap on the thing. I try and get into the role. You know, I'm looking casual. I'm not even like looking at the little slider and it opens and just like they don't. And I hope that password hasn't changed in the last 20 years, 25 years.
That's cool. There's a pause, and then the door opens up, and a big gorilla-sized man steps out of the way to let you guys go. And he's like 6.5 feet tall. He's obviously augmented in some way, and he glowers at the two of you.
Yeah, we know. No starting fights.
You start the fight, I end the fight.
no problem.
All right.
Look, I've been in the business for more years than you've had those whatever metal arms or whatever you got under there. So none of that.
Peers down at you for a second, and then it's like a predator recognizing a predator, and he just slides back. All right, well, just don't cause any trouble.
I know the rules.
And
You got to set ground rules. I say to Marty as we pass in.
yeah, it's like a coat closet type deal. There's a coat check person there. I mean, you got to step in. We're going full noir, right? So there's of course like a stage, and there's this beautiful woman who's singing a song, and this really handsome guy playing the piano, and there are lots of those like horseshoe style booths that are all arranged around. But then there's a bar at the back, and you recognize a few of the folks that you've tussled with, or maybe worked alongside in the past. They're here, some of them chatting amiably, others maybe doing business deals, that kind of thing.
Okay, now this is how bar should be. This this brings me back.
I agree. This boy, we could use this back in Beechwood.
Do you think they would open a chain?
That would be kind of nice. I tell you, it's not the same at the Ruby Tuesdays.
It is not, no.
Get you a drink.
Oh, yes.
Do you guys belly up to the bar?
Yeah. I think I know what Rafe drinks, but what is it? Do you do Cubanos or what do you do?
Yeah, something like, yeah.
Rum and Coke or something?
Yeah, rum and, yeah, like a, I think he skipped the Coke. I don't think he does that anymore. That's, that upsets the stomach. I think he'll just take it with ice, rum with ice.
Rum on the rocks, and I'll take a whiskey neat, please.
Nice. And the person behind the bar is someone that you recognize. She was called the Lemur. She's got a mutated, like she has a tail that she uses to help serve drinks, and
Awesome.
Has some simian, very obvious simian aspects to her personality. Peacock, the Lemur, is she trouble, or is she just here because she can't get a regular job?
I think she has done some kind of henchman stuff, but only really dabbled in it, and that was more because, like you say, she couldn't get anything else. But now she's got the bar gig, so everything's good. I kind of look at it as like, did we team up once, or did I fight you?
Which would you rather, darling?
Well, I know which one I'd rather, but
She smiles. You see that, like, these incisors are a little sharpened. She says, I'm sure that we hooked up one way or another.
got it.
And what brings you two old timers into town?
We're looking up an old friend.
Well, there are lots of friends to find here, I'm sure.
We've heard there's been a little bit of trouble recently in town. Some upheaval.
Oh, well, the cat's away. All the mice want to play.
Any word on where that cat may be?
Not exactly sure. He never frequented the speakeasy.
Not one for spirits.
Oh, clever. Oh, he's wicked. I recognize you. Yeah, I think you run the gym in Beechwood, right? I've seen your commercials.
That's right. We've changed the name, but if you come in, you 20% discount on memberships right now.
Are you still running those adverts?
Well, they still make the rounds.
She leans over, kind of rubs her fuzzy hand across your bicep. Oh, in such good shape, even at this age. I'll have to take you up on that.
Well, I blush a little.
Go easy on the lad.
And then Peacock, you know well enough to like watch the mirrors because you guys are facing the bar. So you see Exceptionist as he strides up towards you guys. Exceptionist is the guy that threatened Beechwood with a tsunami a number of years ago. He's got the big kind of ham hock Wolverine style white, not beard, but like the giant sideburns things.
Yeah.
And he strides up and he like raises his hands up like he's gonna do something. What do you do as he's moving up behind you guys? He's got this big shitty grin on his face too.
How's the jaw, Exceptionist?
He slaps his hand on Golden Boy's shoulder and then slaps the other one on yours. Just squeezes a little bit. Not too bad to have a jaw. It's you. What brings you old farts all the way to Bedlam?
You're one to talk there, Exceptionist. I would say that it's been a little while since you've been new and fresh, eh?
Nah. Oh, well, maybe so. Listen, I'm not going to start anything.
That's a good idea.
Wise.
Yeah, might be a little drunk.
Did you decide to come up here to Bedlam because you heard the pickings were good?
Nobody gonna mess with me up here. Don't have to worry about the likes of you and your stupid mall store. It's a stupid idea. Cops are gonna shut you guys down. It's not as stupid as your gym. And the lemur says, hey, take it easy.
It's fine, ma'am. He was never one for working out.
Naturally strong, gifted by the gods. Exceptionist!
You may be strong, but smell isn't everything.
Lemur snickers. He just puzzles through that for a moment.
Exceptionist, sit down. If you're gonna chat, let's not make us hurt our necks looking up at you.
He slides over and kind of drops into the stool beside you.
Whatever he's having.
Free drink. I'll talk to you idiots. Whatever.
I then try and I want to try and get some information out of him. See if we can, at least get the kind of skinny on the whole hunt for Ghost Gunner on the villain side.
You bet. So why don't you give me it's definitely going to be a jaw roll. Good difficulty.
Yeah,
I'm supporting you, so I'll throw a spark in.
con artist.
Sure. This absolutely works.
That's 1 dice for con artist. The team roll, it's 1 dice.
Oh, yes, it is 1 die. I didn't know you were asking. I thought you were telling. Yes, it is 1 die.
Being normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me a 4, jaw 2.
And you got mine?
We got yours. I don't think I'm using anything else.
I don't think so either.
I'll put 1 spark in as well. And
Oh, by the way, I meant to say this during that when Brutus and Raphael were talking about the old days, definitely 3 spark for each of you. So you're burning 1 now, just add 2 more to your total. And for Brutus, if you can add 3 more to yourself as well.
oh, you mean Raphael and Brutus?
Did I misspeak? I meant Raphael and Brutus, yes.
Yep.
That earlier when you guys were talking about glad
Yeah.
we didn't get that was a perfect refresh moment for me. So I meant to say something then.
Okay, I got 1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay. Your difficulty was good, which needs 3 successes. You got exactly what. So we see like 3 little shot glasses empties in front of Exceptionist as you guys talk about whatever, and eventually he goes, yeah, man. I mean, I'm not really a hitman kind of guy, but the amount of money the Peril's offering for Gunner's head, whew, makes you want to kill for it. That's all I'm saying.
Any success?
No, we'd all begin getting free rounds or something, I'm sure. Nobody's taken him down yet, but a lot of folks coming from out of town. Make sure they get their shot. I heard 50-50s here. Had that robot cowboy, I think's his name. Shit, I don't know.
A lot of folks.
Yeah, well, Peril put out a big hit. What are you going to do? He's just decided to end it all. Who knows why, but who cares, right? Right? It's just the money he spends just as good.
Would guess somebody's got the best lead out there, though. I mean, who seems to be on the trail the tightest?
I heard Robot Cowboy's the best horse to bet on.
Yeah.
And there's like, he smells like that. When he says horse, there's halitosis all up in there for you, Raphael.
Yeah. The robot cowboy, you say?
Why do you guys care so much?
Maybe we need the money.
You lying. You're a terrible liar. Terrible. You guys are gonna go save his stupid ghosty ass?
Yeah, we just was living vicariously, you know.
Just let it go. Tip from me to you. Said song. He starts humming. Sure enough, Let It Go from Frozen 1.
Oh my.
Laughing. Lemur, she's moved down from your part of the bar, is like refilling the peanuts at one point, and she's got her tail, like she's got a towel like wiping out a glass, and she chuckles a little bit. It seems that he knows all the words to that song, but he doesn't go full out singing because there's an actual good singer behind you guys, but he's into it.
You're something else.
You're a terrible liar, but you're good with the word jokes. Ones where you like homophone and NIMS is.
I think about this point, I'm just like, to whatever he's saying, but I'm scanning the crowd for see if what's he called? Obviously he's not Robot Cowboy, but
Iron
Outlaw Iron.
Yes, Outlaw Iron.
He is not hanging out in a bar. You do, however, you recognize Raven is here. She is not. She's not here with the rest of the roost. What do you do?
I'll be back in a moment, Marty. I'll leave you to enjoy the company.
Thanks.
What's she doing?
So she's, again, there's the horseshoe style booth, the ones that have the like really high backs and the rounded tables. And you recognize her because she was just evidently coming back from the loo. She's not in costume. She's dressed in this nice like cocktail dress, dressed to impress, and she's slid into a booth and she's talking to this guy that's in this kind of frumpy brown suit. Looks like it's still got wrinkles in it, like maybe he pulled it out of the back of a closet to put it on. He don't recognize him. He's got to be your age, actually. He looks pretty old.
I think I walked past the booth to somewhere which would be in eye line of her, and then just stumble against a chair to draw attention to myself being there. Oh, sorry, lad. Sorry, sir. And then kind of walk off to somewhere beside the kind of one of the walls into the shadow.
There's a very brief like connection of eyes, and her eyes widen to see you're here. But then she carries on with the conversation and then makes an excuse to like give him another drink, and she slides out and will head off to the eaves or wherever you're hiding out at a hallway. We'll cut back to Golden Boy. We're about to jump away from the scene, but I want to check it. Golden Boy. So when Raphael just kind of walked away, excused himself, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to have, slid over there and, Exceptionist is pretty well in his cups at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing if you're in here, you probably hadn't picked up anything along the way of leads on where Ghost is.
Not really looking, Goldie. Told you. It's murder. It's not really my gig. I'm into if people get hurt, so what? But I'm into big stuff. Tsunamis, earthquakes, tectonic kind of level stuff.
And you plan on setting up business here?
I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes too many bad people around makes it a little less fun.
When I came into town, it looked like you'd already shook the place to the ground. This place is a pit.
Yeah. Oh, don't come in here and clean this place up. This is great. This is fine. You know. Man, it's hard to earn a living anymore. You know,
It's not like the old days, is it?
nah. No, it's not. It's not like you could get a book deal or anything like that, or can't do commercials. And nobody wants anything like what I can do anymore.
Yeah.
At least I don't have to 10 bar, he says, kind of laughing at Lemur, who just lets it roll over, but definitely she did not like that.
Didn't save a nest egg, did you?
Nah. You know, I did, and my second wife burned through it, took the rest of the divorce, so. Yeah. You got a gym, though. Shit, that's got to be good, having a gym.
It's got its ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, your name's still pretty big. I hear people do these podcasting things. You know, maybe you should hook up with somebody that you could, tell your old stories rather than making new ones. Hell, new ones just lead you into more trouble.
Well, you aren't wrong. Some of the stuff I did doesn't really have a statute of visitations or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Natural disasters tend to linger on.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. That Dodgers broadcaster's doing a thing, and he's way older than either you or me. How do you make any money of that, though?
I hear
It's free radio.
ads.
The ads. Fuck, I can't read copy. I can hardly read. I can't wear glasses, and the contacts. I just can't stick my finger in my eye.
You got to get you a young person with you. Then they can do all the grunt work and you just reminisce.
Shit. You thought about this, haven't you?
You got to make your mark how you can, buddy.
I think you want me to do a podcast with you. That's what you want.
That is not what I want, but I would like to see you get out of the crime business.
All right. Well, if you want me to do a commercial or whatever for your stupid gym, I'll do it.
Really? Well, why don't you give me your number? That actually might not be a bad idea.
Kind of pats down a little bit, and then he leans over and reaches into the fold of his suit and pulls out a wallet, and then picks through. And he's got these, like he's has business cards, but they're all stuffed into one part of the wallet, and they're kind of rounded from the wallet itself. And he pulls it out. They kind of stick together a little bit, so he ends up giving you the middle one. But yeah, it slides to you. It's the number's still good, and that AOL address works. So
we might be in touch. And honestly, buddy, find a different line of work. This is a young man's game.
Yeah, probably right. Don't go do anything stupid.
Another round, Lemur, for my friend.
Oh. He sits back a little bit, and then as she delivers the shot, I gotta go. And then he heads to the bathroom and will cut away. I'd like to see what Dr. Emery is doing with the blue, because I remember he definitely wanted to check that out. And you were talking about needing your full laboratory to really dig into things. So what does that look like? Did Dog give you a ride back? Or no, you've got your own sedan, if I remember correctly. So what does this look like?
Does, but his arm's broken.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's true.
That's
Who
true.
really wants to drive with a broken arm? That's the worst.
What do you think why I offered my car to these chuckleheads? I
They
can't
didn't
drive
take
myself anyway. Yeah, well, it's not my fault.
they'd rather take a bus. Harsh.
Whatever. That's okay. I think Raphael doesn't want to take my car because he probably crashed it.
Yeah. Cool. Could also be thoughtful of them because if you want to go home and they are still in Bedlam,
Mm.
you've got to
Take a taxi.
You got to take a taxi or ride pinion on my bike, and broken arm, still not fun.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I could probably take my own bicycle.
You are the cyclist, but then
Yeah, but
so
then
the dog drove your car
you know
home.
what? I'm taking a taxi. I'm old. I've got a broken arm. I can afford it, so I'm taking a taxi. Why not?
Sure.
Okay.
Because sitting, I mean, I love to ride with you, dog, but you need 2 arms to hold on.
So I personally would love a scene of Dog in Dr. Emery's place if we could.
Yeah,
that.
Sure. Come on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You have to tolerate the cat, and you will see that for the first at least 5 minutes, Brutus is totally wrapped up with taking care of the cat. It's not a kitten anymore, but it's a very young cat, and she needs people to amuse her and feed her because she's never been fed before in her entire life.
Not even once.
No.
So
No.
hard to be a cat.
Yeah. So harsh.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. And then I think the lab is actually in the basement, but it's not like you go down various levels. It's just a basement, and there is kind of air filters and stuff like that, so the air wouldn't just go out, and unless it has been filtered. It's a pretty. It doesn't look very super hero-y lab. It's basically just a little laboratory, like
it gives off more of a high school / college lab vibe.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, you couldn't do it's not CERN or anything. It doesn't have all this high-tech equipment, because for that you'd go to the university because they have a real lab. This is just a hobby lab, and if he really needs a CERN, he'll just build it, you know. I mean, but making black holes in your basement, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Doesn't seem good for property value.
Yeah. Right. And if no, we're not doing but basic chemical analysis, that's what this should be good for.
Yeah, I think watching you do chemistry is not as interesting as watching you do electronics. So after about 10 minutes, I'm probably like sitting on the floor and playing with the cat.
Yeah, good. Cats occupied. That's lovely. And the whole thing with the analysis is that some of these things, they just take time, right? Because chemical analysis, that just takes time.
So let's have you do some analysis on blue.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to set 2 difficulties because there is a time factor in here that is involved. So if you want to get an idea on how blue works, then that is because you have 4 samples, that is simply a good difficulty. However, if you want to get to the analysis deep enough before something in the time factor happens, then that is actually going to be pretty incredible, because you guys have you've had the samples for a little bit.
Okay, I think I need to go for broke, right? I mean, I need to know everything. I need to know where where it could have been manufactured, what the weird super thingies in here are, and I'm using super. I could do this normally, but no, that's not a good idea, because there might be some super tech involved here. So
I'm handing you a spark because.
Thank you.
Yeah.
you're keeping the cat occupied, which is amazing.
Exactly. She's not going to help you
Yeah, exactly.
with your equipment
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
by testing to see if it's alive by batting it off the table.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Little tail swish power has been stopped
Mhm.
by that dog. Very quickly saves you from that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's this Tinkerbell is a ragdoll cat, so she's not small. She's like this yay big. So I think the ragdolls, they get pretty big. Anyways, building my pool. I'm strategic, so we were at 3. I think I'm using mostly my head here, so
makes
I'm
sense.
at 7. But I think I need to use some gadgetry. I mean, I need to use some shortcuts that would make quick work of this analysis, actually, and start building some kind of weird looking filters and stuff. And let's do something with lasers, because lasers are always a good idea. Yeah, and as usual, I'm explaining what I'm doing. Not that you probably understand a lot of it, but I'm kind of explaining. I'm not muahaing, but it's pretty close. So I am at, yeah, somewhere 7, 9. And I think I have a spark from
9.
you. I'm at 10, and I'm adding another
Yep.
from of my own. So I'm at 11.
11. Okay.
And
And you're shooting for that diff of 5. So
yeah.
let's see how it comes out.
Yeah.
Tension is not involved in the roll,
Okay.
but there's a, if you don't get the 5 successes, there is a complication.
Ooh,
So
I like complications, but I really would like to have the 5 successes anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
wow, so many 2s.
Yeah, well, 5 2s.
5 2s. That is amazing.
Mhm.
So you start on the analysis. The first thing that you pick up is that blue itself, unless there is some kind of supplier of which you're not aware, it is going to be a very rare. This is an alien substance.
Mhm.
It is from another planet.
Neat.
It has been refined and it has been chemically affected to interact with the DNA and RNA of humans to give them a short burst of superhuman abilities. It effectively awakens kind of a part of their gene. So it works differently on different people. Some people could get psychic abilities, some could gain the ability to ignore gravity, some become super strong, super fast. They're not just physical enhancements. And then some people can just be lucky enough to get the whole kit and caboodle, like the Superman or Supergirl package.
I wonder what happens if somebody whose genes are already activated takes this thing.
So from your remarkable success, it will enhance their ability for a short period of time and then fade. But it acts like an enhancer. So if you already have expressed those superhuman abilities, it'll just pump you up for a brief period of time.
I'm not sure we should tell that to Goldie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something else. You did not see this in the first sample. The sample that was taken off of Cotton's relative, cousin, nephew, whatever. What you saw were the remnants of it. There were little bits of carbon elements inside.
Okay.
But then when you move to the other samples that Dog had snatched off of other members of the chosen few, you found present in them and still active are nanites.
Ooh.
In that first sample, the nanites must have been activated because you see them in their inactive state. And what the nanites do is they burn this thing through. So if anyone has taken this and the nanites are active and they are activated, it's a kill switch.
Oh, nice. Interesting. Yeah, well, do not take this with the nanites. Interesting. You can't produce nanites everywhere. You'd need to have access to some sort of
Microfac, right?
yeah, microfactory. And there are not a lot of these in the country.
And you think that a microfactory is pretty small, but ironically, they're kind of big.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you'd have to create something that is this small. You'd need lots of machines. So, and also you'd need the alien stuff that is used as the basics. And that, I think the alien stuff is our best bet. I mean, microfactory is good, but the alien stuff, that will leave a trace. That doesn't belong on Earth. And I think we can build a scanner that will lead us to the origin of this alien stuff.
This ain't no Zarlothian joint, is it? I thought
I
they
don't know.
hadn't been in this sector for over a decade.
The Sarlothians, aren't they the one who run the ice cream parlor nowadays?
Oh, right. Yeah, they're harmless.
Sorry. Well, no, I think it's not. Doesn't feel Sarlothian. I've studied their tech for a bit, and this is not it. This is something different. Have I encountered this before?
You have not encountered this before. This alien technology, yeah, you need to pick up a scanner because it's unique enough to where you think you would have collected this in past dealings. So yeah, scanner ID is pretty solid lead there.
Okay, so build a scanner and see what we can find when we get there, right?
I'm up for it.
Okay,
you've got good samples, so it's a good difficulty to build a scanner to find this.
Yay. Okay, building a scanner for alien tech. I feel I'm being super here, using tools, using gadgetry. And I wonder if my electricity perception could play into this.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably. I mean, there's an electromagnetic field on Earth, and it will interact with alien materials, and it get distracted a little, so I can't tag this into that. I can feel the way the waves are distorted, the wave distortion. So, yeah, I'm 4 and 4 again.
I think this is we're gonna say this is stressful. I think there's some tension involved here.
Cool.
Exerting so much over such a short period of time.
Yeah, fine. I'm going with 10. I've got to write this down. So, good difficulty, you said?
Yes, good difficulty, but tension is involved.
Okay, I'm rolling 10 dice. That's quite enough. Hello, did I run? Yeah.
That is 2 back-to-back rolls with not a single one. That is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's great. It's great. So I'm gonna, because I'd like to kind of bring us to a close at the same time, and I know that Alex needs to go. So we'll hopefully have a longer session next time. What I'd like to do then is to build the scanner. Does it look like a tricorder kind of thing, or is it just an app on your phone? What does the scanner look like, Dr. Inman?
I think it's actually it feeds into my perception of this electrical waves, so it looks like a hearing aid. Actually, that's what it looks like, and I can plug it in my ear, and it will give me kind of auditory cues when I'm getting closer and when I'm further away, and if I'm moving or looking in the right direction.
Cool. So we see a few panels of dog driving you around in your sedan, And eventually you realize, oh, you're headed to the mall. And
Mm.
then we see the two of you walking down towards the escalators. And then the last shot of our issue is the two of you looking down at the recently reconcreted over giant hole that that used to exist, and that's where it's coming from.
Interesting.
So let's quickly go through our end of session stuff. Did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood, or someone from your past? And this is you guys, like everybody as a group. What do you guys think?
We had to drink with exceptioners.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
so.
yeah.
I think so. I think that totally works for me. So yes, did you protect the citizens of your neighborhood at least once? This is a big setup issue, so I don't know if you guys actually actively did that. So but-
I mean, we tried. That's the whole point of the Blue investigation.
agreed. It's the point. That's a thing that you're working on, but I think it hasn't happened. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say not yet. And then did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rivals? I also think no. Sorry. It's a bridge episode. Very, very sorry about that. Cool. So Alex, let's real quick. We'll go through your questions, then let you do roses and stars and wishes so you
Yeah.
can go. So did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past?
I'm not sure I did this session, unless somebody, or I might be forgetting.
I mean, I think it's struggling a little with your past that we're having to go hunt down an old ally.
Oh yeah, that
can see
could
that.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
And then did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Don't think I particularly did this session.
Didn't have many die rolls again.
No.
So kind of set up issue from me on that one, so a little slow.
I got a little
Okay.
help myself, but I think at some point, but I don't think I really.
All right, so a couple XP. Share with us your stars and wishes.
Yes, the whole bar scene, specifically Marty and Exceptionist, like after being left alone. Yeah, like that's including the bartender, the whole setting of the scene, and the bouncer. Yeah, just yeah. And I also just like that little. I won't steal too many. Just that little bit of reminiscing with Emery about you know we had a rivalry, but we wouldn't nemesis, whatever, but we didn't cross the line.
We didn't
So-
go after each other's significant
Yeah.
others or something like that. We
Yeah.
didn't do that. Was a
We
kinder, was a more polite time then.
yeah, we kind of I don't want to say we kept it fun, but
Yeah, professional.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'll dovetail it to say, Sabine, I appreciate you like circling back to make sure that we were able to have that conversation kind of in character in the game, because that was great. Cool. Anything else, Alex?
I'm trying to think of any wishes. Just that I find out what I chat with Raven, which is is going to happen anyway. So
Yep. We'll kick that one off. I'm very happy I got to before you go, I got to slide in the possibility of Raphael working with his mother there. That was my little tip.
I think I can hang out for 5 minutes more. I think so. I'm going to listen in for the rest.
Okay,
of the...
cool. So let's go around the horn then. Since you had to go last for intros, Tyler, you get to go first for questions and wishes. So did Golden Boy struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past?
I would hit my past the same as Peacock's there.
And then did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I don't think there was any of that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, we were there wasn't really a big push for that, I don't think.
All right. So then that would be what? Yeah. That would be 1 XP from the personal, and you guys had 1 XP from the team, so 2 XP for you as well. And then let's go on to talk to Jen. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past?
Nah.
And did you support another teammate? You literally did. So 2 XP for you total. Sabine.
Yeah.
Did you struggle?
I'm not sure if I struggled really, but it brought back a lot of memories. The whole thing with Peril and this.
I think so.
This
Just
whole
like
thing.
you're looped into a few different plots here, so I think I'm good with that. Cool. And then, did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I don't think I really did because.
All right. Let's start off with wishes, so we can end with stars. Who'd like to go first for wishes?
My wish, I guess, is that I do want a nice emotional kind of dealing with Ghost Gunner. I want that to. I like that idea of it being impactful and maybe even sad and emotionally heart-wrenching and all of that sort of lovely stuff.
Yep, I agree. Cool. Thank you, Tyler. Any wishes from Jen? I'm calling on people now. It's terrible.
All right. Wishes. Now, of course, I want to see what's up with this alien dope invasion, but seconding Tyler with the emotional climax to the Ghost Gunner storyline.
All right.
I feel like that's already gone to some dark places.
Yes.
Yep. But I wonder what that's going to mean for the future of taking charge. So that's curious.
Cool. And then Sabine, did you have any wishes?
Yeah, I would wish for a little shorter scenes so we could cut back and forth a little more, because this one scene was, I think, 40 minutes long.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just I'm not saying have more for us to do, but just give us a little flashlight into the others and then cut back, but maybe not have long scenes with one part of the group and then.
Yep, my cross-cutting game was weak today. I own that. I will be better.
I would also wish for someone for Dr. Punch next time, because we haven't seen a lot of her at all, and I really love seeing Doc in action. So yay, please.
More
Punch
dog
some
fights.
aliens. Yeah, more. I mean, not
You don't have to fight people. Not
No,
every
she
time.
She can intimidate some aliens or something. Imagine she's pretty good at that.
Need some break time. Get you.
And yeah, and also some kind of. I'm really curious about the whole Ghost Gunner situation and how this will be modified when Swirl comes in, the whole thing. So yeah, I'm good, and I wonder if I can connect with Professor Peril there at least.
Yes, I hope so, because I love the little snippet that we talked through. I want to see that on screen. Cool. Since you went last with wishes, you get to go first with stars, Sabine.
Oh, stars! Yeah, lots of stars. I love the way this game is shaping up, and that we have this history and backstory and stuff like that. I love the scene I had with Raphael about the whole, the things, this bitterness that has brewed, that that we never actually, we never were bitter rivals. We were enemies, okay, but there was no great amount of bitterness, and I like that scene. I also liked, of course, seeing Goldie. I mean, watching Tyler in any scene with an NPC or a PC is always a delight. What can I say? I'm a fan. And I also love the idea of in my head seeing Dog play with this young cat, because I don't know, it's kind of funny to me.
I
Yeah.
had to find the cat.
Well, I think dog and animals is a well-established like thing that I like seeing. 'Cause from the shelter to this scene, I really like it. I'm with you on that. Cool.
Very good boys and girls.
Jen, what stars did you want to toss out?
I really enjoyed the bar scene. It was very funny to have Exceptionist be drunk and that sort of punchy amiability where like he's an asshole and he wants to push your buttons, but he's not really looking for a fight. He's just looking for some verbal contention. I thought that was fun. I'm looking forward to Raphael talking with Raven and seeing what's up with her. Let's see other stars for the game. Lemur was also pretty fun. I like it when there's somebody very weird bartending. Don't know what it is, just do. Robot bartender, simian lady bartender, I'm down for it. It's all good things.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, Jen. And then Tyler, what roses did you have? Stars, sorry.
I really applaud the hero gone bad storyline. Having Drew come in to communicate it is really nice. There's a lot of complexity to why he would have to come in. There's a lot of, it was all set up well that, you know, there's this old history. And then to add to that, I want to, you know, star Sabine for building up the other side of the equation background story with Peril. I thought that was really interesting as well. I like the bar scene. It was all around really cool. From bartender to the feel of the place to Exceptionist, every bit of it I felt worked really nicely. I like seeing Dog and Brutus kind of together. They're come from very different places, but are of the four of us, you know, it's a little different when Swell's around, but of the four of us, they're the two more practical characters we have. So, you know, them doing things together it always feels like good business. It always feels like they're people who can come up with practical, good ideas, where Rafe and I are a bit more emotional type characters. And so that I thought that was neat to see. That anytime I see them together makes me happy. And I also kind of liked just in a tiny bit, I liked the idea of us on this road trip in the Greyhound. You know, I had everybody talking about me as we're traveling along on the thing. And I thought that was cute.
I should have asked for some kind of like interstitial scene of you guys on a bus. I think that was a missed opportunity for me because I also really like I had headcanon and I probably should have asked for it to be pulled out and described on screen so we were in that space.
Maybe we'll get a very sad montage on the way back.
Note to self. Cool. Thanks for being able to stick around a little bit extra. I know the game it's a little shorter game than normal, but hey, we get Jan back next session and then we'll jump straight in. So I'm very excited to see if both these stories come to a close next session.
I have some stars I've missed.
Oh, crap.
I really liked the
Please do.
discussion we had at the beginning of the session, which was not role-playing at all, which was just us talking. I always enjoy these. They are not a waste of time.
Thank you. Sorry.
I like catching up with my friends too. It's good.
Same. Awesome. Cool. I'll bring this recording to a close then. Thank you all.